Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ryan Does It podcast. Today we are joined by Jonathan Greaves. Jonathan is a football player for USD. He is majoring in mechanical engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Jonathan Greaves. Jonathan, how are you today?
Doing well, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, man, it's really cool to see you too. It's been a while. Jonathan and I go back quite a few years, 10 years almost, man.
Hopefully.
Yeah, the dog days, Crespi, JV. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah,
uh,
for those days.
Yes, sir. Can't deny, I just got to embrace it, right?
Just embrace the grind sometimes.
There's no running from the past.
No run from the past at all.
Yeah, speaking of the past, well, we're not in the past anymore. We're in the present. The present's a nice time to be. Do you agree?
100%, dude.
Present's a nice time to be. Speaking of the present, talk to us, Jonathan. Tell us a little bit about, so you've been at USD now for a while, playing football. How's football been? How do you balance kind of football with school? I have three bullet points here for you, so we'll just start with that one and take as long as you need. What's it like being a football player? How do you balance, school, the demands that football places on you, and also having time for relaxation and, social life?
The relaxation doesn't really come too often. I've been at USC for 3 years now, just finished my third season. And by me majoring in mechanical engineering too, it's um it's very tough managing Division I football and mechanical engineering at the same time because we spend a lot of hours with meetings and workouts, practice, traveling, everything. And on top of a very rigorous curriculum of mechanical engineering, it's very hard finding free time. I sometimes spend time till like about midnight, 1 a.m., just working on homework and studying, then having to wake up at 6 a.m. for workouts the next day. It's a grind. Like I said, I just embrace the grind sometimes. I enjoy it because I know at the end of the day, I know it's all going to pay off at the end.
Yeah, for sure. It's that's um that's a nice job to have, mechanical engineering. I think I recall you saying in another previous interview that once you get that, like you're pretty much set for life.
Oh, yeah,
Those
100%.
connections. Yeah. That's really nice to have. Especially, yeah, it's like my like most jobs, personal training, what I do, it's like you're constantly kind of jumping through hoops. You don't really have that like whereas mechanical engineering, man, you got to put in the work in the beginning. After that, you get over that hump, you're coasting, man. So
Pretty much. Like as of right now, I'm trying to apply for internships, which is very tough, you know. As of right now, I'm studying really hard in school, trying to get a really good GPA, trying to get a grasp of the material. But at the same time, too, I need experience in the workforce, obviously, because no engineering firm is going to hire you if you have no experience, you don't know what you're doing, everything. So I'm trying to get experience as much as I can. And I also started my senior design project, which is a huge thing for engineering. And I have to be really, really, I have to choose really closely at what I want to do. And I have to work really hard this next semester so that I could get a really good senior design. And once I'm finished with all that, once it's all said and done, I get a good job, then everything will be like much better from there, hopefully.
yeah, yeah, man. As long as the apocalypse doesn't happen, who knows? I
Pretty
had
much. I mean,
someone, I had someone come up to me yesterday, and they're like, "The world's gonna end." The world, like, what are you talking about? They're
why do
like,
you say that?
China's like flying a balloon out of there.
Uh,
It's like, what?
I don't think the world's gonna end like too soon. It's
No, it's
just a
it.
balloon.
Yeah. All right. Well, switching subjects a little bit, getting into a little bit more serious subject matter here. So, right, I talked to Josh about this. You know, Armenia. I want to let you kind of unpack this a little bit from your perspective. Like how do you think about all this, and what can we do about it?
I mean, first off, thanks for bringing this up. I know that this is a topic that no one really wants to talk about. It's all about, the war in Ukraine and just recently the tragic event in Turkey and Syria, which is horrible right now. But a big thing that's happening in Armenia right now is that Azerbaijan wants to eliminate us from the face of the earth. And this is like history repeating itself because what most people don't know is the 1915 Armenian genocide, which killed off 1.5 million Armenians. And we've talked about this before. Me and Josh have told you everything about it. But the thing that makes me sick to my mind is that how people don't know much about this issue. Well, because like they don't really want to know about this issue. It's not relevant to them because Turkey is just an ally to the United States for many reasons, like trading, geopolitics, everything. And it's kind of sad how like just 1.5 million Armenians were slaughtered with pretty much no recognition. I talked to like many people from USD, like so I'm like, yeah, I'm Armenian, whatever, and they're like, what is that? People from like Colorado and like the Midwest and Washington, like they just don't know what Armenian is. I told them about the Armenian genocide, and they just had no clue about it. So basically, my goal for this is to try to get everybody to recognize what the genocide was, and as well as get to know what is happening in Armenia right now and in Artsakh, otherwise known as Nagorno-Karabakh. So that's basically like what I'm trying to help other people do.
Mm. Yeah, very well said. Um, things that come to mind. So I am aware of some insight that suggests that, as humans, our morality is pretty fucked, right?
Pretty
For
much.
example, we care more. So, for example, if there was one little girl in Africa that, got like beaten and tortured and raped, right? Like one little girl, and that like found the news, oh my God, like we would go insane, like, oh, how could you do that? Or like one little girl, right? But if
Yeah.
millions of people had the same fate happen to them, we most people wouldn't give a fuck, right? Because the suffering is like divided. Like we didn't evolve to think about numbers. We evolved to think about people. So we relate to stories, right? If one little girl, you think about that little girl getting like beaten, you're like, oh my God, like it hurts. But like 1.5 million people slaughtered, you're like, oh, like what does that mean, right? It just goes over our heads. So there's this idea that like we need to like this is quite literally a bug in our system that if we want to survive and keep going, we need to correct for. That's the first thing that comes to mind, and the second thing, yeah, this kind of like I'm fucking reading in this book right here, Robert Sapolsky. He's a Stanford professor. Behave. He
Oh
talks about
well.
yeah the neuroscience behind it, right? If you engage, so there's this part of the brain called the insula, and if you engage that part of the brain, that's the part of the brain responsible for this us them mentality, right? Us them.
Mhm.
It gets you thinking that like, oh, the them, right? They're bad, they're evil, and if we exterminate them, we'll solve all our problems. And so, yeah, there's some. It'll be really interesting to see how the science evolves. 20, 30 years from now, how we can kind of auto correct for this, especially as we merge with AI. But that's kind of beyond the subject. But
Right.
how do you kind of think about all that?
I mean, like, I don't really like know too much. Can you repeat the question again? I'm so sorry.
I'm kind of asking
That
like
was just a lot of information that went into my head.
yeah, it was how what can we do about it? Like a white boy like me, right? Like I'm white. I don't have, any outside of you and Josh, like really uh connect deeply to, Armenians. Like I live, in California. I'll probably most likely never have to face that kind of oppression in my life. What can someone like me do to help us all out, help you guys out?
Well, I mean, obviously we can't do anything about the 1.5 million that died because that was back years ago. And it was unfortunate that it happened. But what I would say that we could do right now is spread the word out because a lot of people don't know about this. And a lot of countries like don't really want to know about this. Only like a few countries. And it's been progressively got a lot better. A lot of people are understanding it a lot more. More countries are starting to recognize like, okay, a genocide did in fact happen. So I would say just keep spreading the word and do your research about what's going on in Armenia right now because as of right now, there's a lot of distress going on in the Artsakh region right now that people don't really know about. Like if people like the only people that pretty much know what's going on is like people who talk to Armenians. Like I post about it all the time on my social media pages. I try to talk to my friends about it, and I try to explain like everything, the rundown, like what is Artsakh, what is Azerbaijan, like what's the history behind everything, the two Nagorno-Karabakh wars going that's happened. I basically say just recognize it, do your research, educate yourself, and probably just like donate and just show us respect and recognize that we are in fact good people and we are trying to fight for our lives right now.
Well said. Well said. Um, well said. We'll probably speak more about this further down the line in the conversation, but as a culture, right, what are we doing wrong and what can we do better?
I'd say probably just focusing on stuff that we shouldn't really be focusing on. Like I think that yes, there's a lot of bad stuff happening in this world, and those things I think should get recognized. But I think that if we were to recognize like a people group being oppressed, then I think that we should account for the other people groups that are indeed oppressed as well, you know? Like, I know we talk about Ukraine and everything, and it's horrible right now. Like, I pray for those people. They're going through a lot right now. And I think that it's great that we talk about it. It's great that we're helping them and everything. But I think that if we're going to talk about them, then we should talk about us as well. Because we're fighting for our lives, right? Like Ukraine's fighting for their lives right now, and we're fighting for our lives as well. So that's basically like what I think.
Interesting. Yeah, man, Josh mentioned that, the geographical location of Turkey, just the location of it's the most strategically placed country, right?
It is.
Um, and so yeah, a lot of this stuff is what do you think this is more of a political issue or a business issue?
Um, I think business, I would say, because like we said, like what Josh said, Turkey is very like really a great place, like a great place country, you know? Like there's so much geopolitics there and it's has a lot of natural resources. It's a big land area. But also Azerbaijan, Josh like said this before, but Azerbaijan now has natural gas
Mhm.
since they cut the natural gas in Russia because of the war. They're now starting to supply from Azerbaijan, so it's giving them business, and Turkey's obviously getting a lot of business through like what they have with their natural resources. So I think that them like basically like silencing what's going on in Armenia and doing business with Turkey and Azerbaijan is like what's been like that's why we're silenced kind of. That's just my opinion.
No, I mean I have no reason to doubt it, you know. Unfortunately. Um, yeah, it's man. Um, it yeah, just so grateful to live where we live, you know.
I tell myself that every day, you know. Like my mother immigrated here and everything, and I'm just like so happy that I'm living here. So happy that I'm doing college right now. That's a big thing. I'm in a great family. It's just the little things you got to be grateful for at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's so easy to be ungrateful, you know.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, our lives could be so much worse right now. I mean, so much, like we could have, evil dictators ruling it. We could be like tripping through the mud right now in like a communist country. We could, talk about Mao, Hitler, like shit could be so much worse.
Hmm. And a lot of people like don't recognize that there's so much like political corruption in so many countries. There's evil dictators, and people have to live under there because they had no choice. That was just what they're born into, you know? So it's just, like I said, it's the little things you got to be grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, on a personal note, like that's yeah, you have like the kind of stereotypical liberal is kind of pointing out everything that's wrong with society, like it's racist, this and that, everything that's wrong, and the stereotypical conservative is like no, 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 like we're good. It's like fuck, man, like it's somewhere in the, we're making progress. We're not where we need to be. We're not, we're going there. We got it's like we started out with just the bar, like we got a plate on there. We're on our way to 225.
It's all about the process, you know? And I think we're moving in a great direction, you know, for society.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have before we move on to the next question? The next question is a bullshit question, so I just want to make sure we Star Wars. But yeah,
Yeah.
before we move on to that, did you say everything you wanted to say? Like Armenia, like oppression. What else do you kind of?
I think that's like what I personally take pride in is just the fact that us Armenians as a community are so proud of who we are because I see it throughout like everybody else's like Twitter, Instagram page. They're just posting everything about what's going on. They're super passionate about it. They're talking about it. I mean, if you go to like Glendale, like it's everywhere, you know. They're naming streets after Artsakh and like Armenian, they're like streets with Armenian names and everything. It's just it's a great community to be in, you know. It makes you feel like you're special, like you're part of the family. And I'm just like happy with like everybody in my Armenian family because we're all in this together, you know. But we can't leave anybody out. It's just us at the end of the day, pretty much.
Yeah, I feel that, man, and yeah, thank you for coming on here and sharing that. Even if it just impacts one person, I think that's worth it. But yeah, okay, cool. So got that out of the way. Now on to the fun stuff.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Am I gonna hit you with the same question I hit Josh? Um, let's start there. Let's start there. Okay. One
Okay.
Chewbacca or unlimited fucking Jabba the Huts.
I was actually thinking about this right after I saw Josh's podcast. I go with the Chewbacca because I think that if you have like a bunch of Jabbas, especially like on the D line, yeah, like Jabbas like would plug up a hole, but like if you have a Chewbacca on the other side, like Jabba's not gonna or yeah, Jabba's not gonna catch Chewbacca. He's too slow. Like Chewbacca's just gonna run around him, you know? So I would rather have the one Chewbacca. And I
Wow.
don't think any human could tackle him either.
Where would you put him?
Honestly, probably running back.
Running back. Wow. I first thing that comes to my mind is tight end.
I think a tight end too. I think he can knock some guys down and make a 10-yard catch,
It would depend on his hand.
something
I
like
don't
that.
know. Does Chewbacca have good hands?
That's a good question. I mean, you could always work on the hands, I would say.
Good, yeah. I mean, they're so big, right?
They're huge.
Yeah.
But what's it called? Like you see Chewbacca in Star Wars, you just throw he like he punches a stormtrooper, they go flying, you
Yeah.
know? Something like that.
Shit, man. Yeah. Damn. Chewbacca. It's a high risk, high reward though, because if he gets injured, you guys are done. That's your star.
Yeah.
Unlimited Javas. Yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't know. I actually I've asked this question twice and I haven't thought about it. Yeah. And then Josh was like, "Oh, Darth Maul would be, sick." I don't know how Darth
That'll be a
Maul.
sick character. But yeah, I'd probably just go with the Chewbacca. I think that's the safe pick.
Dang. Yeah, man, Chewbacca at running back. That's crazy, man. You heard Crespi got a new football coach?
I did hear about that. I don't really know much about him though.
Yeah, yeah. I read he's like from he was like an assistant at Wyoming or something.
Oh, was he?
Something like that. Yeah, he went to Wyoming or he was an assistant, but yeah.
Yeah. Crespi has a great tradition of football, you know. Um, I think that obviously they've been down like these last few years, and it kind of sucks to see that
Mhm.
because of all the great players and just the great tradition that's been there. So I hope that this new coach can turn around, bring some guys in, win a few games, win a
Yeah,
few CIF titles, turn the
for
program
sure.
around. I'm ready for the Celts, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, on that note, so Alamany like this week got caught in a cheating scandal. Did you hear about that?
I did not. What happened?
Yeah, so apparently dude by the name of Coach Troop was yeah, Troop Troop Coach Troop. That's
I,
a
I
name
never
you
heard of
go
him.
by. It's on Eric Sonheimer tweeted about this.
Okay,
So he was trying to recruit St. Francis's top O lineman
really?
to go to Alamany. Yeah, and they snitched on him, man. They let him know they're like, hey, here's the text, and then boom. So then they interviewed Clausen. Clausen said, I don't know who this who this guy is. Uh, what do you think about that?
Well, I don't know who Coach Troop is. He might be a new coach at Alamany, but that's kind of crazy to think, because that breaks a lot of CIF rules, and Alamany will probably be punished by the CIF if this indeed is true. But I'm actually take a look more into this. I'll look at Sondheimer's Twitter. I'll see. I'll get some more information about it because you were actually you're the first one that told me that. So I'll uh I'll take a look at that. I hope it's
Yeah,
false, because I do root for Alamany too, because I'm an alumni there, obviously.
yeah,
Don't want anything bad to happen to them, but just we'll see what happens.
yeah. It's crazy. I saw the tweet at first. I thought it was St. Francis. I was like, St. Francis, what she is like? They've been doing really well. I'm like, got you, motherfuckers. But no, it was against St. Francis. They were yeah. Dean Harrington was the one he reported. He sent it to the CIF.
Of course, Dean Harrington would.
Got him, man.
Just kidding. Just messing around. Former Alamany coach.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, and what's it like being at USD? Tell us some funny USD stories.
All right, I got one actually.
Okay.
I actually got one. So it was my freshman year. Okay, the first week I was at USD. So I graduated in 2020 and I came in during 2020, which was obviously the COVID year. So we moved in September, and obviously this was like the peak of COVID. So there's all these COVID policies and everything where it's like you have to wear a mask everywhere you go. You have to you can't go to anyone else's dorm room. You have to stay in your dorm room, everything. So I was like, all right, fine, that's cool. So there's one night, okay? It's the first weekend I was at USD. I I go to my buddy's room. Me and my roommates, we go to our buddy's room to play some Madden, and we had our doors open. We had the doors open and everything because our our buddy's room was like right across from us. So we just literally like take one step out. We're in our buddy's room. We're just playing Madden like nothing happened. Then the RAs came walking by. They caught us and they wrote us up. And they're like, "You're gonna get a call from the dean, and you're gonna get punished." So me and my room like, "All right, like whatever."
Yeah.
And we get a text from our friends like 30 minutes later. They're like, "Hey, you want to come to our room and just chill with us?" And like these are like some of our swim friends that we just met like just recently. So like, yeah, sure. Look, we'll go. We go up there. It was like six swim girls, like some of our friends. The same two guys that were playing Madden with us,
Mhm.
and like four other of our football guys. So we had a room of like probably like 12. And we hear a knock on the door, and it was the same two RAs that caught us. So we were scrambling everywhere. I hid in the shower. My buddies were hitting under the beds and the closets and everything. They eventually got us. It was a whole yeah, when they caught us, it was kind of interesting. It
Yeah.
was it was kind of funny though. This is like a story that like we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Playing
dumb
hide and go
freshman
seek.
story.
hide and go seek with the football players and the
I
RAs.
did go see with the football players and the swim team getting caught by the RAs.
Yeah.
It's good times. Good times.
Dang, man. You got written up for that or what?
Yeah, so I had a meeting with the dean like a week later,
Mm,
and we were just discussing like the whole COVID protocols, everything. They're like, you understand, like this virus is like big and everything. You got to keep everybody safe. Yes, I understand. It's not gonna happen again. I've never gotten punished since then. Knock on wood, they'll stay that way. But I mean, that was quite an experience. That's a memory that'll live on even past, even like well past when I graduate.
damn, man. The USD RAs that are listening.
It's bad,
You
yeah.
better
Yeah,
not.
they snitched hard on us. It was, yeah.
Yeah,
We we still talk about them all the time. Like, wow, they just really snitched on us like that.
yeah, that's crazy, man. I know your mom wasn't happy about you getting like in trouble that early on.
Trust me, I got a handful.
Yeah,
I tell my mom like, Mom, it's fine. Like I talked to the dean, everything's okay. But I mean, like she thought it was like a way worse situation. Because it was like my first week there, and I'm already off to a bad start. So I understand why my mom would get mad at me.
man. Yeah, that's funny. Explaining that to her. How's
Yeah.
your training been going? How's your what are you weighing right now? How's your diet nutrition been going?
Yeah, so I'm 265 right now, which I just recently got switched to O-line, so they kind of wanted me to put on some weight. So my
Oh,
goal,
when did you get switched to O line?
oh, I didn't tell you that?
No.
I recently got switched to O-line because we were pretty low
Oh,
on O-linemen, so they
interesting.
wanted me to switch, and like it's been like a weird transition, because I haven't played O-line since high school, so it's been like 3 years since I played. But I think everything's going good so far. I'm learning the playbook. I was talking about first practice yesterday. I think I did pretty decent. Obviously, I got to work on my techniques and everything. Strength wise, I'm pretty good. Like I'm lifting 3 days a week at 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm eating a lot. Obviously, I eat like a snack before I lift, and I have like breakfast afterwards, and I'll have like a lunch. Then I'll have like two full meals like during the evening. Then I'll have like a bedtime snack. So I'm making sure I'm staying on top of my meals, trying to get as much nutrients as me as possible, as well as lifting weights. And also like I don't eat junk food, I don't eat sweets. I make sure I have like meals with like high like carbs and protein. Try to, I mean, you probably know all this stuff, because I've asked you before,
Yeah,
about
man.
how to like gain muscle without gaining any fat.
Gatorade.
So
I
just
told you I was like, baby, sipping on that Gatorade, baby. Sipping on that Gatorade.
I've been lacking a little bit recently. I gotta buy a new pack of Gatorade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean everything's going smooth so far. But what's it called? Since last season I gained like 8 pounds, so I think I'm doing pretty solid so far.
Nice. Nice, man. That's cool that you can kind of do that intuitively. Kind of just eat more, focus on the carbs. And you're not missing meals, you're not skipping meals very often. It's cool. What's your favorite pregame meal, snack meal, like favorite thing to eat pregame?
Honestly, like I just like go with like a bar, I'll get like a protein bar or maybe like a Nature Valley bar. I don't want something too heavy because it's going to give me a stomach ache, but something that has like a good amount of calories, so that I have energy when I go onto the field.
What about post game?
I gotta have a big meal post game, after playing a game, after not eating for a while, because I had just a bar before.
Do you guys do fruit at halftime, like
We
grapes?
do.
Okay.
So during halftime, they'll pass around oranges, they'll pass around like sliced bagels and Rice Krispie treats. So
Oh,
there's
wow.
passive
I've never
and
heard of that.
yeah, and also like fruit snacks like gummies.
Smart. Yeah.
It's a good mix. You get your starches in, then you'll get like some vitamins. Then you get your sugars from the gummies. Then you get the Rice Krispie treats. I mean, it's pretty solid in my
Did they
opinion. Trainers gave it to us during halftime.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of obviously like the fruit snack and the fruit. I've never heard of bagels. That's interesting. I'm
Yeah,
sure
it's like sliced bagels.
the freaking linemen are just munching on those things, huh?
Oh my gosh.
um,
It's like when I was on the D line, we were having a feast during halftime.
oh shit. Did they do that at Alameda?
You know, that's a good question. I think no, we did. We had oranges at halftime. I forgot.
Okay,
I had to think about that for a little bit.
yeah. The Crespi pre-workout drink was
Premier
for
protein, right?
C4.
Oh,
Bro,
yeah.
no, it's C4. Benjamin gone to straight up C4 before the game.
No,
There
oh, we
was-
had guys that did that too at Alameda.
Oh yeah.
We would have guys who take like 3, 4 scoops of C4. I'm like,
Oh
what?
my God, bro! I saw one of your. It was what was like Jake? His name started with a J. Jalen Smith, I think it was. He was.
Okay.
I saw him at the Oaks Christian game that we came to Josh on years ago. It was at Oaks.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we played Kayvon Thibodeau.
yeah. Oh, he was in that game. Bro, did you go? Did you ever have to go against him?
I never did.
Oh,
I only played defense that game.
bro, I
That game was brutal. I had what's his face? Zach Charbonnet broke my ankles and ran for a 40-yard touchdown.
yeah,
That game was bad, dude.
yeah.
But yeah, that was brutal. But I mean, good memories. That was
Yeah.
probably one of the best teams I've ever played.
Did you guys come out with the win? No.
No, we got
Oh
crushed.
gosh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't
We
remember.
we won the next year. We crushed them senior year on national TV.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I just remember, yeah, at the Oaks game, freaking Jay, like 20 minutes before the game, this dude just comes out with a king size bag of Skittles. He's just eating the Skittles.
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
He was just munching on those things, man. Yeah, it's like right before the game.
Just like Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn, yep, straight Marshawn. But yeah, what was uh I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, Crespi pre-workout drinks. Yeah. Oh, what was I gonna? I don't know. Think of something quick, quick.
Um, I sprained my ankle against Oaks Christian my senior year. I don't
Yeah,
think you remember that.
that was tragic. We were in the stands.
You were at my game that game that's my senior year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun fact about me, I don't know if you know this, I sprained my right ankle 5 times while playing football. I sprained it once my freshman year, JV, against Orange Lutheran.
Mm.
Then my second time was against Oaks Christian. That was a high ankle sprain, so I was out for 3 weeks. And I obviously you probably know I broke it pre-game. Third time was freshman year of college at USD. I had a low ankle sprain during practice. Fourth time was during camp this last year. I missed one practice, then the next practice I just taped it up. I took like 3 ibuprofens. That was brutal. Then the fifth time was the last week of the season. It was like our second to last practice of the season. I sprained my ankle again and I had to go into more rehab.
Jeez. Um, do you think you have a genetic predisposition to, or just
I honestly don't know. I mean, I think it might be the fact that I don't like work my ankles that much. Well, nowadays I do, obviously, because I don't want to sprain it again. So that I do a bunch of like calf workouts and stretches and ankle mobility work exercises. I also wear an ankle brace now when I'm on the field. But also, by the way, my mobility in my ankle is horrible now. Like I can barely get my knee over my toes. Like that's how bad it is. My left ankle's fine.
yeah.
Like I don't think I've really had any problems with it. Its mobility is good and everything, but my right ankle is just what's killing me.
Huh.
But I don't know of any like genetic disorder because I don't think my dad had anything. My mom's ankles are fine. I just don't know.
Yeah, no, not a genetic, but I'm just talking about like the predisposition to injury. Like there is a genetic component just to how kind of like fragile or non-fragile the bones and ligaments are. Some people are just always getting injured.
I mean, I think the reason why my ankle is not as mobile as it used to be, I think it was because my the high ankle sprain my senior year because I don't think I rehabbed it properly. And ever since then my ankles have never been the same. So it could be dispositioned. I
Mm,
just don't know.
true. You're getting physical therapy for it?
I was, yeah. And I go to like our training room too. My trainer gives me workouts to do to strengthen the ankle, work on the mobility and everything.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. This your last year. You're gonna be a senior.
I'm gonna be a senior, but I'm coming back for another year
Oh,
because mechanical engineering is a 4.5 year program at USD. So this next year I'm gonna be a senior. Then I'm gonna be taking an extra semester after my senior year to finish up my degree and play another year of football.
okay.
But I have 3 more years of eligibility left because I saved a year from the COVID year. I redshirted my sophomore year. I used up my first year, like this last year, my junior year. So I have 3 more. So like after I'm done with USD, like I'm thinking about maybe grad transferring to get like my master's in mechanical engineering somewhere. Maybe go to England like Josh. I'm
Cool.
still like thinking about like all the options right now. Or maybe just start working right away. It's I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Who are you planning to work for?
Just like whoever takes me. Ideally, I would do want to work in the aerospace field because
Aerospace.
I don't know if you're like well aware of it. We are planning on going to Mars soon and possibly a second moon mission like coming up soon. So it's it'll be interesting to see like what happens. I definitely do want to be part of it because now they're hiring younger people. So like basically like everyone in the aerospace field are like all like older people. And now that we're just getting back into aerospace technology, they want to hire younger people like my age to take over.
Mm,
So I think that this is a great field to get into. It's a great opportunity for young mechanical engineers just like me to pursue a career in.
interesting. Are you trying to work alongside Elon?
I mean, if Elon gives me the opportunity, I can't say no to that.
Yeah. What if he wanted to give you three free Teslas? He wanted to pay you 500K a year,
Done. I'm in.
but you have you have 1 hour of free time per day, and you have to only say positive things about anything associated with Elon.
Like hour free time, including like that includes like sleeping. Like will I be working 23
That
hours a
doesn't,
day?
no, no, no. So you get to sleep, but if you're not sleeping, you only get 1 hour of free time. You can
Like
retire
what's my
whenever you want. You can retire whenever you want.
what's my work hours though? Like
Work hours, okay, so you sleep 8 hours, you work 15 hours.
three Teslas, 500K. Will I get raised later? Or like is that just like my set just the rest of my entire life?
You're gonna start at 400K and you're gonna work your way up to 800K. Um, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if I get a car for free, if I
But you can't use the car. You're working the entire time.
didn't you say I get 3 free Teslas?
Yeah, but you're not gonna be able to use it. You only have 1 hour.
So you're saying that I'm gonna sleep over at the facilities?
um, yeah,
Oh,
essentially, like your living space is like you're either sleeping at the damn facility or you're like within a walking distance of.
I'm thinking about it a lot more now. It's like kind of tough. Like it's is 400, 500K really worth like 15 hours a day? And my max I'm gonna get is 800K, and I'm gonna have like zero free time. So that's
You're not gonna have a wife. I'll tell you that. Or if you do, you just got
I
really
forget that.
lucky.
Forget that.
Forget
Forget
it.
that.
Yeah, man.
I,
Okay,
I,
yeah.
I want to raise a family and everything. I want a wife. I want kids and everything. I gotta spend some family time. You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess the proper the economist in me would ask, okay, well, compared to what? Right? Compared to 200K a year, compared to a million a year, like what other jobs are we looking at? So, you
Yeah. But I do value like time with your family, like time with yourself. You know, because I don't think that you know working should be your entire life. Obviously, you should need to work hard and everything, get a good job and provide for your family and everything. But I do value the time that you spend with your family. So I'd I'd say I'd say that pretty much.
know, you know, well said. Well said. Okay. Last question. Let me just give me a second to formulate this real quick.
Is it a Star Wars question?
It's not a Star Wars question.
Okay.
Um, it's a Crespi football question.
Okay. Perfect.
Wait 1 second. Who would win in a fight? Mason Tolliver
Okay. Or
or you ready? Pete Christensen.
are we talking about are we talking about senior year Pete and like senior year Mason Tolliver?
Yes.
Man, I don't know. I don't want to offend one or the other.
That's why I was thinking real hard before I asked this question.
And no offense to Mason, but I gotta take Pete.
To Pete,
Pete,
damn.
Pete was just way bigger, just a bigger guy, you know. But I mean, no disrespect to Mason. Like Mason's a hell of a player, and I think Mason could put up a good fight. But I mean, if Pete gets Mason to the ground, I think it's game over.
I'm gonna tell Mason you said that right now. I'm gonna text him right now.
All right, fine.
Hold on, man. He's not gonna be happy about that.
Tell him don't take it personally though.
But Mason takes everything personal.
Hmm. Well, just tell him don't take this one personal.
Mason's a personal guy.
You brought the question upon me, so I mean I had to choose one or the other. I didn't
Hey,
have to do it, but you made me. You
hey,
know,
brother. Hey, brother, man. Come on.
brother, man, come on,
The locker room talk, man. Come on now.
mm, bring it back to good old days, my freshman year.
Yeah. Oh, that was your freshman year. Yes. Good shit. All
Long
right,
time
folks.
ago.
All right. Well, our time is up. This has been the Ryan Joseph podcast. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment if you got value from this in any way. Jonathan, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ryan. Good to see you again, man.